Situation remains normal in Jammu and Kashmir. Usual vehicular traffic on roads. Shoppers throng markets for Eid shopping. Administration says no dearth of essential commodities. President, Vice President greet the people on Eid festival. Government takes a series of steps to facilitate the general public and employees in Jammu and Kashmir. Banks to open even on holidays. 6 markets established in Srinagar in the wake of Eid. 300 special telephone booths being established to help public communicate with their kin and relations. Home Minister Amit Shah says abrogation of Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir will lead to end of terrorism and progress of the region. Hails Vice President Venkaiah Naidu for smooth conduct of Rajya Sabha during passage of the bill. INB Minister Prakash Javadekar says there is absolute peace in the valley. Centre terms media reports of large-scale protests in Srinagar as completely fabricated and incorrect. Says there has been a few stray protests, none involved a crowd of more than 20 people. Home Minister Amit Shah conducts aerial survey of flood-affected areas of Karnataka and Maharashtra, holds meeting with senior officials to evaluate rescue and rehabilitation measures. In sports news, reigning national champion Saurabh Verma wins men's singles title at the Hyderabad Open Badminton, defeats Singapore's Loh Keen Yew in the summit clash. Hello and welcome. You're watching DD India and DD News with me, Manun Bhattacharya. Let's get started with our top story. Peace and normalcy prevails in Jammu and Kashmir as life gets on track following the abrogation of Article 370 in the state. In Srinagar, vehicular movement was visible on city roads with the people coming out of their houses for their routine work. Locals were seen moving around and resuming their daily routine. Autos and cars were seen plying on the roads. Markets also witnessed significant footfall as people turned up for shopping on the eve of the Eid festival. People queued up at ATMs to collect cash. Other business establishments, banks, colleges and schools were also functioning normally. In Jammu Division 2, normalcy prevailed as prohibitory orders under Section 144 of the CRPC were completely lifted in 5 districts and curfew was relaxed in Rajouri, Doda, Pooch, Ramban and Kishtwar districts. The relaxation period passed off peacefully and no untoward incident was reported from any district during the relaxation period. With normalcy prevailing in Jammu and Kashmir, the administration has taken a series of measures for the general public and employees. According to the administration, treasuries and banks are being made functional during this period. Even on holidays, ATMs are functioning smoothly with availability of enough cash. Salaries of all employees and wages of casual laborers are being released. Delivery of vegetables, LPG, poultry, eggs has been ensured at the doorsteps through mobile vans. 6 markets have been established in Srinagar city and 2.5 lakh sheep on hooves are available for public for Eid ul Azha sacrifice. In the rest of the districts, the district magistrates have made elaborate arrangements for the forthcoming Eid ul Azha. Ration carts in every district have started functioning to supply ration to the general public. Out of 3,697 ration carts in Kashmir division, 3,557 ration carts have been made operational to provide ration to the general public. Special and elaborate arrangements have been made for safe and hassle-free return of Hajis from Saudi Arabia, for which flights will commence on 18th of August. Wheat has been stocked to suffice for 65 days, rice for 55 days, mutton for 17 days, poultry for 1 month, kerosene oil for 35 days, LPG for 1 month, high-speed diesel and motor spirit for 28 days. Traffic is plying smoothly in Srinagar city and is being regulated round the corner. All the health institutions at primary, secondary and tertiary level are functioning fully with doctors and paramedical staff. 300 special telephone booths are being established to help the public communicate with their kin and relatives. To ensure water supply, staff has been deployed at pumping stations and filtration plant round the clock. Union Home Ministry has termed as incorrect and fabricated a Reuters report on protests in Kashmir following the abrogation of Article 370. News agency Reuters showed a video claiming large-scale protests in Kashmir against the revocation of Article 370. A Home Ministry spokesperson said that the reports of protests involving 10,000 people in Srinagar were completely fabricated and incorrect. In a tweet, the spokesperson said there have been a few stray protests in Srinagar and Baramulla, and none involved a crowd of more than 20 people. And for more updates, we are joined by correspondent Mark Lynn from Srinagar. Mark, how was the eve of Eid in Srinagar?
Well, Munmun, it was a day which one can say has been pretty peaceful. During the afternoon, there was Section 144 was reimposed in some areas where it was earlier eased. That was more as a precautionary measure. And again, it was eased in the evening, and people came out in large numbers to do their last-minute purchases. Things were looking quite festive. People quite happy to be purchasing confectionaries from the bakery, and also sharing greetings with one another on the eve of Eid. So it looks like they are preparing for a happy and a joyous occasion, which is tomorrow. So it has been a reasonably good day. As you've mentioned in the run-up in your commentary, there's been the government has done quite a lot. And I must also mention one thing more, because there were complaints about there not being any garbage disposal and cleaning that was done, but we did go around and see that actually, and the government has said that they're putting getting down to doing that quickly, and they've actually done that, because it sends also a clear signal to people that the government is with them, and there's plenty of that has been happening, that garbage cleaning has been taking place in various areas of Srinagar as well, which sends out an important message, because in the festivity tomorrow, this would be an important aspect as to keep the area clean.
Since it is Eid tomorrow, Mark, do we expect restrictions to remain relaxed for the whole day?
Well, we didn't get a commitment from the authorities when those questions were put to them. They just said that we shall see. So the situation is pretty much that. But I presume that as it has been today, there would be reasonable restrictions in place, and people would, the restrictions would be reasonably eased in several places, and people would go out and celebrate the festival as they are meant to. And mosques, people will go to mosques for their namaz. And also one thing more is that the administration has been in consultation with imams of mosques, and appealed to them to also maintain peace and see that their services are peaceful to the best, using their good offices to see that peace is maintained. And I think that that also is an important signal that they have come on board. They did talk to the administration, and we have seen that people generally, you hear very often the prayer call wherever you're around in Srinagar, and it is a sign that people are a prayerful society here, and they will consider the importance of Eid prayers tomorrow.
Are basic services like water supply and power supply being provided round the clock to the entire valley?
Yes, I think as far as I know, there have been no disruptions in power supply and in water supply. I think these things, as far as I know, have been received. We haven't seen it, I haven't experienced it myself, and I don't think many people have experienced it. In any case, the weather is not that bad, though it is the hottest time of the year here in Srinagar, so people can manage without electricity also during the daytime for reasonable periods of time.
Are most of the flights, Mark, on schedule, especially for those students who are from J&K but are studying outside the state, to return and celebrate Eid with their loved ones?
Well, there were reports that, yes, there were reports that the number of flights had been reduced because, a number of people coming back to Srinagar were not that many, and so there were, out of 39, I think the flights had been reduced to 32 in a day. But there have been no reports of any any disruptions in the flight schedule, and the flights have been coming in smoothly. People have been being met at the airports by whoever their near and dear ones, and also the government has made arrangements for students who have been coming here to be dropped to their respective homes through, whether they come by bus or even at the airport perhaps. They have been the government has made this promise to see that they will be seen to their respective homes.
Mark, slowly and steadily, do we expect things to come back to normal, life to be business as usual? We understand that schools and colleges have been opened, offices have also been opened to some extent. Do we expect things to come back to normal over a period of time?
Well, I don't think schools and colleges have opened. Some businesses may have opened. Shops are generally closed. Section 144 is in place. People are not, it's only basically medical shops that are open, confectionery shops that were open today because of people wanting to make purchases. There are some department stores that were open, but largely because of people wanting to store up groceries. As you did ask about how long it will take, it's a question that is difficult to answer at the moment. You see, as and when people come to terms with the decision, perhaps normalcy in that sense will return. But right now, you can only gauge the mood of the people, and judging by the fact that there have been no protests, that people are coming out on the streets, they are walking around, mingling with people like on any normal day, one would presume that that day is not too far.
Are there attempts also, you suspect, to vitiate the atmosphere at the same time? Because the Prime Minister had said that there are forces who would want to vitiate the atmosphere, and it is the patriotic people of Jammu and Kashmir who have stood up to them and would continue to stand up to them in future as well.
Well, since communication links have been suspended, and people are not really, they only get their news through television, and television channels are available, so they get influenced perhaps by misreporting, and we realize that that has been happening to a large extent, and the manner in which some reports seem to be showing just one side of the story and not quite the entire story, that has probably irked a few people and got things the wrong way. But that is misinformation. Collectively, there have been areas, which have been shut down, and that is true. That because Section 144 is in place, there would be roads that are completely abandoned. There would be shops that are completely abandoned. But I can assure you that people have been coming out onto the streets. Cars have been moving, and we have been showing that to you too. And that is in the vast majority of areas in the city. So one has to, there could be ways of interpreting one thing if you show only one thing, and there could be ways of interpreting the other thing only if you show the other thing. So one should say that there is a collective of the two there, because Section 144 is in place. These restrictions are precautionary. People understand that these restrictions are in place, and when the Section 144 is in place, you're not supposed to gather than more than 4 people, but I've seen many more than 4 people gathering and the police not stopping them. So you can see that things are pretty normal. The police too are relaxed. The people are communicating with journalists. They are talking to them quite freely, expressing their views. There's debate going on. People are talking amongst themselves in their homes. People are talking, in groups and press clubs, etc. There are a lot of this issue is being debated all the time, and it's on people's minds. So, to what extent, is one side of a story being reported more than another side? This is a question that perhaps, one needs to. It's difficult for me to pass a judgment, but the fact remains that I can assure you, as an eyewitness, that the state has been the city of Srinagar and other parts of the Kashmir Valley have been peaceful by and large, and there have been no protests. People have actually come out onto the streets, and they are in a celebrity mood, but let me add a bit subdued, because you have to understand that they are celebrating their festival under various restrictions under Section 144, and naturally that is not the ideal atmosphere to be celebrating their festival. But also speaking that, that they understand that the government has gone out of their way to facilitate a lot of things for them and make the festival as happy and as a joyous occasion that they can possibly have.
Right, Mark. Thank you for that round report from Srinagar. Union Home Minister Amit Shah today said that removal of special status to Jammu and Kashmir under Article 370 of the Constitution will lead to end of terrorism and progress of the region. He was speaking at the launch of a book on Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu in Chennai today. Amit Shah said he firmly believed that Article 370 should be removed as it was not beneficial to the country.
मैं फर्मली मानता हूं कि धारा 370 से देश का भला नहीं हुआ, कश्मीर का भला नहीं हुआ, बहुत पहले हटनी चाहिए थी। एज अ होम मिनिस्टर मेरे मन में जरा भी कंफ्यूजन नहीं था कि धारा 370 के बाद क्या होगा। मैं निश्चित रूप से मानता हूं कि धारा 370 हटने के बाद कश्मीर के अंदर आतंकवाद की समाप्ति होगी और कश्मीर विकास के रास्ते पे आगे बढ़ जाएगा।
Amit Shah also hailed the role of the Vice President as Chairman of the Upper House during the discussion and passage of the bill related to Jammu and Kashmir.
वेंकैया जी की कुशलता का ही परिणाम है कि सभी विपक्ष के मित्रों को सुनते 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 इस बिल को डिवीजन तक कहीं भी कोई ऐसा दृश्य खड़ा नहीं हुआ जिसके कारण देश की जनता को ये लगे कि ऊपरी सदन की गरिमा नीचे आई है। मैं वेंकैया जी की सदन के संचालन की कुशलता को आज भी ये मंच पर से इसको एक्नॉलेज करना चाहता हूं।
Addressing the gathering, Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar said that there is absolute peace in Kashmir and not even a single shell of tear gas is fired in the valley.
After 6 days, there is not even a tear gas shell has been used in Kashmir Valley. People are peaceful, people have already adjusted because they wanted this to happen, because they wanted their rights back.
Prakash Javadekar said that with the removal of provisions under Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir, 106 legislations will now be applicable in the Union Territory, ultimately benefiting the people.
370, abrogation of 370, creating a Ladakh new Union Territory, giving people of Jammu and Kashmir their rights which were denied for years together. For 70 years they were denied. 106 acts which are applicable throughout the country are not applicable in Jammu Kashmir. And then when he gave it, there was practically all corners supported him in the House, and 370 was abrogated with 370 exact votes in Lok Sabha.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah today released a book titled Listening, Learning and Leading, chronicling the 2 years in office by Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu. The book was released in Chennai at a function organized by Information and Broadcasting Ministry. The Vice President and the Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar were present on the occasion. Home Minister Amit Shah said the Vice President has always been in union with the nation, feeling its pain and pulse, adding that this is what has made him a successful leader in public life. INB Minister Prakash Javadekar hailed the Vice President for effectively managing proceedings in the upper house of Parliament. He also said that Naidu is respected by all members of the House, irrespective of the party they belong to. The book captures the glimpses of the Vice President's 330 public engagements across the country in the last 2 years. The book also showcases the Vice President's tenure as the Rajya Sabha Chairman in enhancing its effectiveness and promoting its efficiency.
Learning is a continuous process because the world is advancing. We are a global village now. Things are happening. New technology, new ideas, new innovation, out-of-box ideas. Science is making improvements. So new things will come out. And you have opened up. And you are living in an era of LPG, liberalization, privatization, globalization. So everything is competition now. So you have to go on learning. That's the purpose of calling all these great learned people here to this function.
देश के उपराष्ट्रपति और राज्यसभा के चेयरमैन के नाते वेंकैया जी राज्यसभा का और पूरे देश का मार्गदर्शन कर रहे हैं। ये विधि का ही विधान है कि जो वेंकैया नायडू ने 370 के खिलाफ आंदोलन किया था, धारा 370 हटाने का जब प्रस्ताव आया तब वेंकैया जी राज्यसभा के चेयरमैन के नाते उसकी अध्यक्षता कर रहे थे।
It is the collection of his engagement with various sectors in last 2 years as Vice President, foreign as well as national as well as in the House. So all aspects of his activities are covered. And I must compliment my team in publication division also. They have brought out a very good book which you will cherish. Because alliteration and very witty remarks is his strength. In Parliament, in Rajya Sabha, we always experience this. He says, discuss, debate, but don't disturb.
The Vice President also viewed an exhibition on the occasion. President Ramnath Kovind has greeted the people on the eve of Eid al-Zuha, saying the festival symbolizes love, fraternity and service to humanity. In his message, the President said on the occasion of Eid al-Zuha, he offers his greetings and good wishes to all fellow citizens, especially the Muslim brothers and sisters in India and abroad. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu also greeted people on the eve of Eid al-Zuha, saying the festival inspires the feeling of brotherhood, compassion and unity. The Vice President in his message said the festival is an ode to the virtues of devotion, faith and sacrifice. He hoped that the festivities will strengthen the spirit of generosity and bring people closer to one another. Ahead of Eid tomorrow, Jammu and Kashmir administration has announced measures to help state employees as well as the general public celebrate the festival peacefully and properly. Principal Secretary of Jammu and Kashmir, Rohit Kansal, has extended his greetings on the auspicious occasion of Eid to the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Speaking to DD News, the Principal Secretary said that elaborate arrangements have been made in order to ensure a peaceful celebration of Eid in the region.
The administration has made elaborate arrangements to facilitate the people on the occasion of Eid festival. To begin with, sacrificial animals were made available and mandis were organized at various places to enable people to do the shopping. Bakeries were open, so a lot of people were able to do their purchases. In addition, if there are people who are coming home to meet their near and dear ones on Eid, we are trying to facilitate them by placing adequate number of buses at various locations. We are also issuing instructions that if there are any restrictions, tickets and boarding passes are used to enable people to travel without any difficulty.
And as far as telecommunications are concerned, because people are interested in contacting people rather than, the one-way communication with people from outside here. Suppose people from outside want to contact to see how their loved ones are doing. How do they go about it?
each Deputy Commissioner's office in the Valley has been facilitating communication by setting up a system of communication whereby people can approach the DC's call from there. For example, in the Deputy Commissioner's office at Srinagar, I've been told that almost 5,000 people were able to call, and we are trying to expand the facilities continuously so that without much waiting time, people are able to call the near and dear ones. We are also trying to make sure that the treasuries are open, the banks are open. For example, in Srinagar district alone, almost 500 crore rupees were sort of distributed by way of salaries, by way of wages, by way of payment for contracts, by way of GPF, so that nobody is left without money on the occasion of Eid.
Would you like to wish the people?
I think I would wish everybody an extremely happy, joyous, peaceful Eid, and may it bring peace, prosperity and happiness to all.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah carried out an aerial survey of the flood-affected Belagavi district of Karnataka and Sangli and Kolhapur districts in Maharashtra on Sunday. Shah arrived by special aircraft from Chennai at the Samra airport in Belagavi and conducted the survey of some of the affected areas on board an army helicopter. He was accompanied by Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa, Union Ministers Prahlad Joshi among others. The Home Minister also held a meeting with top government officials and interacted with officials involved in the relief and rescue operation. In a tweet, the Home Minister said that both the centre and the state government are committed to help the distressed people. Meanwhile, rain has subsided in Belagavi, but water released from dams has inundated several areas. The relief and rescue operation continues as around 2 lakh displaced people and over 50,000 livestock were evacuated from 245 villages in the district. Over 370 relief camps have been opened for the affected people. All schools and colleges, both government and private, in affected flood-hit districts will remain closed till the 15th of August. The Indian Railways has announced that it has cancelled the Samjhauta Express train run at its end of the international border, days after Pakistan suspended services on its side. According to Northern Railway, Pakistan has cancelled the Samjhauta Express running between Lahore and Attari. The railways run the train on Sundays from Delhi to Attari and back, while Pakistan used to run the train between Lahore and Attari. An official said only 2 passengers had booked tickets for the Sunday's service. Reigning national champion Saurav Verma capped an impressive week at the Hyderabad Open with a thrilling win over Singapore's Loh Keen Yew in the summit clash to claim the men's singles title in Hyderabad on Sunday. The 26-year-old from Madhya Pradesh, who had won the Slovenian International in May this year, showed great composure as he outwitted world number 44 Keen Yew 21-13, 14-21, 21-16 in a 52-minute final clash at Gachibowli Indoor Stadium in Hyderabad. That's it then in this edition of the news. News and updates will continue on DD India.